Sponsored this evening by FCI Markets, and we're officially sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your steward in charge is Alan Alster. We begin the evening with a middleweight contest scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds. Would you welcome to the ring firstly from Padiham, Lancashire, Seamus, the Celtic Cobra Devlin.
MC for the evening, I'm Andy Clark, alongside me John Evans, joining me for the undercard here on VIP Boxing. Making his way to the ring now, Seamus Devlin, our opening fight, 4 rounds at middleweight, and Devlin, a busy man. This is his 25th fight of the year, his 42nd since turning pro back in July 2021, so he's found plenty of work in that away corner, never been stopped.
And his opponent, boxing in his home city of Doncaster, Jamie Mellers.
Jamie Mellers has sold a few tickets. 3 fights, 3 wins. Won them all on points over 4 rounds so far at the Magnus Centre in Rotherham, where I was last night, and at the Doncaster Dome. His last fight was here at the end of May, where he dropped around against Jordan Granham, but still got the victory. He's got a heavyweight corner there, way to my right-hand side. Nick Manners, Frank Hopkins, Jimmy Harrington.
Introducing to you firstly in the blue corner, we're in the green, white and gold shorts. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, 12 ounces. Boxing this evening in his 42nd professional contest from Padiham, Lancashire, Seamus, the Celtic Cobra Devlin. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner, we're in the black shorts, chin with white. He weighed in at 11 stone, 8 pounds, 13 ounces. He brings to the ring a perfect professional record of 3 wins from 3 contests. From right here in Doncaster, Jamie Thor Mellers. Your timekeeper at the bell is Chris Hancock of Doncaster. Your referee is Rhys Carter from Cardiff. Referee Rhys Carter will now give both boxers their final instructions.
Okay, gentlemen. Right, gentlemen, you're professionals, you know the rules. Keep it clean, listen to my instructions, and you must defend yourself at all times. Good luck, lads. Shake hands.
This is a middleweight bout scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds.
So 4-3's a middleweight. Rhys Carter, our referee. Just checking these two got their gum shields in. On the left-hand side of the screen there is Seamus Devlin, the Celtic Cobra. I'm a fan of that nickname. And then coming out of the red corner, Jamie Mellers, the home fighter, the undefeated fighter.
Seamus Devlin's becoming the test every prospect must pass this way, isn't he? As you watch boxing, you see these journeymen come and go, and everybody's got that name on the record. Seamus Devlin's becoming that name at middleweight and super middleweight.
Well, it's an impressive record because he's got just the 1 win, 39 losses and a draw, but he's never been stopped. And he only turned pro in July last year, so he's been very, very busy. He's got another 3 fights scheduled over the next 6 weeks after this one, according to BoxRec. So he's certainly not planning on losing that O, if you like, that he prizes, I'm sure, as an away corner fighter, has never being halted.
Seen plenty of Seamus over that year, probably seen half of his fights, and the improvement is pretty drastic, really. You can see he's gangly, he's awkward, he's got a slightly unorthodox style, and that helps being a journeyman, doesn't it? It makes you a bit more difficult to pin down, a bit more difficult to nail, and that's helping him get through the rounds and, you know, be so active.
And he's in shape as well, as is Mellers. He's got a kind of tall, angular look to him, stands up quite straight. Carries that lead hand a little bit low.
Very correct, isn't he, Mellers? You know, using that jab well, looking to a body when he can. Devlin just testing him out there, jab to his body, and Mellers dropped his hands, didn't he? So maybe Devlin will be looking to put something behind that, but very correct, Jamie Mellers.
Just coming off that right hand a little bit there, Mellers, as he pushes Devlin back towards the ropes. Gives him a smile. Just over a minute remaining in the opening round. Twitching with the lead hand a little bit there, Mellers. It's not going to be easy to find a way through against Devlin, who just pulls that weight onto the back foot. He's got his chin, for the most part, tucked in quite nicely behind that shoulder.
The one thing Devlin does give you, though, he does throw shots, doesn't he? So quite often the thing these young prospects complain about is when they're facing an opponent who just clams up and gives them nothing to work with. Devlin will throw shots, so you do get little opportunities to put things together yourself.
He gets in tight there, Mellers, and looks for the uppercut. Lands the left, followed by the right, and Devlin just dumped heavily onto his back there.
6, 7.
Referee gets to the count of 8, and he's got his legs underneath him. I'm not sure exactly how solid they are. He got caught by a left, and as he was backing out, trying to pull away, got crunched by that right hand, and, well, it was a resounding echo as he hit the boards there right above us.
Nice right hand, wasn't it? Just as Devlin walked into it almost, and he came round to the left, and he didn't look to put a lot of power into the shot. He didn't load up, but it was perfectly placed and timed, wasn't it? Looked quite hurt, Devlin.
He was shaky when he got back to his feet.
Just looking across to the corner there, he looks okay. He looks like he's come round quite well. He did take another right hand on the ropes when he backed away, didn't he?
Now, it was an interesting one because he just backed him up to that far side there, Mellers. He was looking for the uppercut, didn't really find it. Then as he half turned off the ropes himself, he threw a left hand, followed it up with that right straight away. And I don't think there was any real balance there for Devlin. I think he got caught a bit,
10 seconds, corners.
Standing a bit tall with his weight in his heels as he was just trying to pull out. But nevertheless, it was heavy, wasn't it? It was a good connection, certainly. And it was right towards the end of the round, which helped Devlin.
Very experienced corner, Jimmy Harrington giving the instructions. I think we can be pretty sure Jamie Mellers won't shoot his shot now and let everything go and risk tiring himself out. I think he'll be controlled and well-paced.
But there's another well-placed
right hand.
This is really interesting because I've never seen Mellers before, but what we've seen so far would suggest that he's heavy-handed, that when he lands, he can really do some damage because there's a long way to go in this round now, 2.5 minutes, and Devlin's got to try and find a way through it if he can. But every time that Mellers is landing now, he's taking a little piece off him, backed up to the ropes again. He's trying to cover up here, Devlin. The uppercut just short a couple of times. Devlin doing the right thing there and almost grabbing hold as hard as he can to those arms.
Very accurate, Mellers, isn't he? If he just pushes away, gives himself a little yard to work with, that right hand's the weapon, isn't it? The uppercut's landing well, but it's the straight right hand which is doing the damage.
Devlin just in pure survival mode at the moment. Just over a minute gone in the round. Mellers just looking for the body, trying to find that uppercut. There's that right hand that just crashes through the guard again there. And when you look at him, as I said at the start, he does stand up quite straight. He doesn't give himself, in a way, all that strong a base to punch off, but he's got some power. I think he's shown us that.
There's very little tell to his shots, isn't there? He doesn't load up. It's not like a spring coiling. The right hand just seems to come out very naturally, very quick and very straight.
Devlin's barely thrown a thing in this round, and I can understand why, because he's just got that guard in place, those earmuffs on really, and he's trying to get through to the end of the round as best he can. And Mellers is going after him here, of course, but he's not going crazy. Just a little feint with the front foot there. Manoeuvres him back to the ropes and again looks for that right cross. That was half blocked by Devlin.
At that mid-range, he very impressive, Mellers, isn't he? He's as we said in the first round, extremely accurate. Doesn't waste much.
Nice combination again there, just finishing on the uppercut up on the ropes. 30 seconds remaining in the round, and Devlin looks like he's probably going to get through here. Just slides his forearms underneath the armpits of Mellers there. And he's just concentrating solely, almost, Devlin here, on not allowing that right hand to get through clean. That one got through kind of half force, and you could see that it had an effect. Well, you never quite know what you're going to get, do you? Because I've never seen Mellers before. I've seen Devlin a bit. And you look at the record and you think, OK, this is going to go 4 rounds. He's going to get another good 4 rounds in the bank here, Mellers. And then we'll be talking at the end of the fight about how maybe he needs to be stepped up a little bit more and this and that. But some people he's crunched him at the end of the first round and done it straight away again in the second.
Power's one of those things, it's almost impossible to judge by looking at somebody, because Mellers looks like the classic boxer, doesn't he? He came out, we were talking about his setup, how composed he was, how straight up, and all of a sudden he's hurt Seamus Devlin more than he's probably ever been hurt in his career. As you say, total surprise, very impressive performance so far. The test now comes. You said Devlin's got 3 fights booked in time and time again. He may well go into full survival mode. So we might have to see if Jamie's got that little bit of imagination to prize openings now and just see if he can still carry on finding a home for that power. But so far, so good after 2 rounds.
Yes, exactly. I think that's what it'll come down to, because in that second round, Devlin, he was covering up. He didn't look to throw much at all. And again here, he's just backing up. He's got that high guard in place. Maybe he should have a look down to the body, Mellers, because it is on offer. You can see those elbows flaring away from the rib cage there, Devlin. He's looking after that head as best he can. It's interesting where he's kind of choosing to stand, though, Devlin. He kind of needs to be all the way out or all the way in, because you don't want to be standing at mid-range. That's exactly where you don't want to be. Yeah,
it could be a situation for Seamus Devlin where safe as close here, you know, take all Mellers' leverages away, because he's a leverage puncher, isn't he? That right hand's just finding Devlin right at the very end. Perfect distance, perfect timing. So Devlin, if he can just get close that distance, make it as messy as he possibly can, that's going to be his best option for surviving this, I think.
Throws a jab there, Devlin. As we said at the start of the fight, though, he is in good nick. He fights often. I wouldn't imagine he does any sparring. Away corner fighters don't really need to do that, but he definitely does the groundwork. He does his runs because he's in shape, and I think that's what's allowed him to get up from those 2 knockdowns and recover quite quickly, actually.
I think we're just seeing a little bit of, oh, he's doing it as we speak now. He's showing some feints, isn't he now, Mellers? He's realised that Devlin's clamming up and he's trying to draw something from him. The first 2 rounds, he was walking him down, throwing from range. Now he's just loosening those shoulders up, looking to draw something that he can counter from. Be waiting for a lazy jab only from Devlin to put that right hand straight back over the top of it.
Right hand there was blocked by that left glove of Devlin.
Fully into his rhythm now, Mellers, isn't he? Very relaxed. Very confident. That double jab there, jab flipped up from his waist. Just both of them landed flush. It's pretty impressive out in this from Jamie Mellers.
It is. And crashes through with that 1-2 again there, and Devlin just looking to hold on. I think that nickname of Thor must be a tip of the hat to the natural power that, from what we've seen, he does carry with him. So there goes the bell at the end of round 3, and Devlin did an effective job there. He's been put down in the first and the second. He got through that third without any mishap. So he's just 3 minutes from the tape here, because, as we've been saying, he's got some more fights booked in, and what you don't want is to get stopped and get that suspension. He's got to be one of the busiest fighters on the circuit, this being his 25th fight of the year, and we're only in early October. With the run of shows you get through the rest of this month of November and December, I mean, he could get another 5 or 6 in before the end of the year. Yeah,
I lose track, come to so many of these small hole shows, but there was a presentation from him before one of his previous fights where he'd set the record for most fights in a calendar year. So there's a little nod over there telling us that he's okay. We're a different breed, aren't they? I know we'll probably say it a couple of times. We've got one of the greats of Louis Van Pooch coming up later tonight, and Jamie Quinn. But these journeymen, the way he's learned and adapted from that terrible first 2 rounds, you know, he's in his own way, he took that right hand away, didn't he, in the 3rd round? And it's a real learning on the job thing sometimes being a journeyman. I know we say we know all the tricks, but every fight, every opponent's different, and we have to work out new ways to survive. And really impressive, guys.
Again, just pulls that weight back a little bit and takes a sting off that right hand. Trying to turn that straight right into an uppercut there, Mellers. Always got those gloves up, protecting himself well there, Devlin, because, as we were saying in the previous round, the way he's going about this, standing on the borderline of range there, sometimes stepping into range, at times weight quite heavily over that front foot. I'm not sure that's what I would have recommended, but it's working fine.
Really impressive from Mellers. We can see his weapons. Like you said in the last round, Andy, I wonder if you just look downstairs a little bit. That straight right hand's a really beautiful weapon. I just wonder if he could just dip his knees and put it into the pit of his stomach. But we're criticising someone who's put one of the most durable journeymen in the country down twice, so he's clearly doing something right. But I just wonder if that would open up a few more little opportunities for him to have maybe got this over and done with.
Flicking that jab up from the waist. Do you think one thing they might look to try and do with him over time a little bit, the training team, is maybe just to get him to sink a little bit? Because my first impression when I saw him was that he does really stand up straight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's very upright, isn't he? Chin's up a little bit. He's not had to really worry too much about that tonight, as if there's not been too much coming back. But the power's naturally there, isn't it? If they can just drop that base, get a little bit more bend in his knees, he could develop into a pretty dangerous operator, couldn't he?
Absolutely. He's got Devlin on the run a little bit there, but Devlin leans in, grabs hold. So, final few seconds of this one, and Seamus Devlin is going to get through to the end of this, unless something explosive happens in the next 5 seconds or so. And this is what he does. And he goes on the front foot right at the very end there. He was thinking about throwing that right hand. Big punch of gloves between the two. And Devlin has had to work hard for his money tonight. And those future appearances, the next one at least is safe. And a good performance there from Jamie Mellers. He got his man on the deck in the first round and in the second round, and he put him down pretty heavy as well. And we've been talking about the kind of finer points of a little bit of technique there, maybe ways in which he could possibly just sit down on his shots and punch even harder. But it's really exciting when you see someone who, like you said, John, he doesn't load up. He just keeps those hands moving. He's not completely set when he throws either, and that's the sign of someone who's just got naturally heavy hands.
Yeah, no, see, it's like you said, Andy, it's exciting. You never know what you're going to get when you come to these shows, and everybody loves a puncher, don't they? That shock value where they can just turn someone, put someone down or switch off the lights at any given moment. We weren't expecting Seamus Devlin to touch down twice in the first 2 rounds there.
He scores the contest at 40 points to 34 in favour of your winner, extending that perfect record, Doncaster's Jamie Mellers.
So 40 to 34, 4 rounds to 0 with the 2 knockdowns. That was the only possible way that you could score that, and that was a good outing for Jamie Mellers. He's definitely somebody to keep an eye on. 28 years old, so he's coming to the pro game quite late. I'll be interested to see what they do with him next. That's now 4 wins out of 4, 16 rounds in the tank.
Looking at middleweight at the moment, there's a new breed coming through, isn't there? You know, we've got Denzel Bentley getting a world title fight. We've got Brad Ray, Tyler Denny, fighters like that. So there is a new breed of middleweights coming up, and you are going to probably get title opportunities quite quickly. If they can move him up to 6, 8, 10s, it could be within a year, 18 months. You never know, we might just see Jamie Mellers competing for some domestic titles.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.